Honestly, every day you wake up, you make decision on whether you're going to be rich or poor. And sometimes you know it, and sometimes you don't. And this is going to be the only video you need on this topic, so watch the entire thing. Because by the end of this video, you'll have an understanding of what's really going on, and also have an idea on how to fix it. I've always been interested in the secret of financial success. I wanted to know how come some people are really good with their money, and others are struggling to make a living. And based on my own financial experience, I've come to realize that we all making the same mistake and we don't even know it. So in this video, I would like to discuss 9 money habits that's keeping you poor and how to turn things around. Number 1, lifestyle inflation. So lifestyle inflation happens when your spending increase alongside with your income. So as soon as you start making more money, you start spending more money. And this usually happens once you get a raise from work. All of a sudden you want to upgrade your wardrobe, buy a new car, and start going out more. But here's the problem. Once you start spending more money, all these little extra luxuries quickly become a necessity. And before you know it, you now need to make more money to support your new expensive lifestyle. And I didn't realize that in my 20s because back when I was in college, I used to spend so much money on unnecessary items that I had to work overtime just to keep up with my lifestyle. And fast forward in my late 20s, I stick to a budget just so I can have an exact ideas of how much money I'm spending. I try to save as much as possible, and now all the sacrifices are paying off. And whenever I do buy something, it's backed by smart financial decision. So my advice to you, as your income increase, keep your expense as low as possible and save the difference. Number 2, not tracking your expenses. So if there's one major difference between people who has money and people who doesn't, it's budgeting. And you can probably guess who does. So if you're not where you want to be financially, it's probably because you're not managing your money properly. And it all starts with tracking your expenses. And that's because people who struggle with their money has no idea where their money is going. They don't track their spending, so that's a huge mistake. So try tracking your income and expenses for the next 30 days using something as simple as an Excel spreadsheet can give you a clear picture of where your money is going. You want to know this because wealthy people have an exact idea of their financial stability. They know their asset, their liabilities, and have a clear picture of their financial goals and a plan on how to get there. So just being aware of your spending and seeing these numbers can have a change in your habit. Number 3, getting comfortable with bad debt. These days, debt has become the norm. I mean, people use them for pretty much everything. Buying gift, buying clothes, anything, you name it. And here's the simple rule. If you can't afford to buy something with cash, you shouldn't be buying it with any sort of debt. Because credit card companies want you to be back with your finances. I mean, how do you expect them to make their money, right? So the more debt you are in, the more you end up paying them on interest. And that's why every time you apply for a loan, it's the lender's job to give you the largest credit line possible. In fact, they are financially motivated to stretch out your monthly loan payment just to increase your budget. So just because you're qualified for something, that doesn't mean it's a good financial decision. So when it comes to your lifestyle, don't spend the maximum just because you can. Instead, come up with a budget that you're comfortable with and stick to it regardless of how much any bank is willing to lend you. This approach will help you avoid taking on any bad debt and keep your financial health in check. Number 4, not having a good understanding of taxes. Taxes can take a significant amount of your earning. In fact, on average, a single working American pays around 30% of their earning to taxes, which means you spent most of your life working just so you can feed Uncle Sam. And that's why having a basic understanding of the tax system can help you utilize resources to save more money. For instance, if you work a regular paying job, you can check if your employer offers a 401k, because contributing to a 401k can help you lower your taxes. In fact, you can even try other strategies like tax loss harvesting. This is where you sell investment that has lost value just so you can try to offset a few $1,000s from your taxable income. And if you're a business owner, running your business through an LLC or an S corporation can help you reduce self-employment taxes. So there are so many legal ways that you can keep more money in your pocket by understanding and using the tax system to your advantage. Number 5, trying to keep up with appearances. So many people sacrifice their future just so they can impress others. And when you think about it, it sounds very foolish, right? Like, why do you need to buy so much expensive items when you can just take that money and invest it or spend it on meaningful experiences with your loved ones? Or even better, why do you need to keep buying a new phone every year when the one you have right now works perfectly? And that's the problem. Trying to avoid looking inferior can lead to long-term financial troubles. And let's be realistic, right? This appearance game is a losing battle. Just when you thought you caught up, the status change again. This constant cycle is referred to as the Red Queen race from Alice in Wonderland, meaning you're running in place and you're spending more money just so you can maintain the same status. So if I were you, I would focus on my financial well-being and make choices that would secure my future rather than just keeping up with appearances. Number 6, having one source of income. So having one source of income is really risky because what if an emergency comes up and you can't go back to work because of a family issue or something completely unexpected? Well, now you're left without any earnings. So in reality, having one source of income can only take you so far in terms of time and money. And studies have shown that most self-made millionaires have multiple streams of income, at least up to 7. 65% of them have 3, 45% of them have 4, and 29% of them have 5 or more. And because of this high level of multiple income, they can protect themselves from financial instability. But for most people, earning money stops when they stop working. But to build wealth, you need to find a way to make money even when you're not working. Investing, side hustle, anything you can find to bring you some sort of passive income stream. Number 7, not investing early. So not investing early can be a big mistake because you might think that leaving your money in a bank account is a safer option, but that's not true because inflation will diminish its value over time. So the smartest thing to do is to explore different type of investment options from safer to riskiest that you're willing to take. For example, this is not financial advice by the way, the S&P 500 have an expected return of 10% annually, which means if you invest $1,000 today, you can expect to make $100 by the end of the year. So if you're looking for a safe, not risky investment, you can just start there. But it's way better than just leaving it in the bank account and letting inflation devalue your money. It's easier said than done, right? Since we're always making excuses. It's easy to find a reason not to invest. There's not enough time, there's not enough money. I don't know where to begin. But check this out. The longer you wait, the harder you'll have to work to achieve the same financial freedom compared to somebody else who started before you. Number 8, thinking short term versus long term. Remember when YOLO was a thing? Essentially, you're sacrificing your future in exchange for a present that's not even that good. And most of the time, it leads to long-term financial disaster. And that's what most people do, right? They constantly live in the moment, trying to impress others with their flashy lifestyle. And that often leads to poor financial decisions. And that's because poor people usually buy things that lose its value over time. In fact, they would even go into debt for it. Let's say, for example, right, a brand new car loses about 15% of its value within the first year. So not only you're losing money to depreciation, if you had to borrow money to buy that car, you now have to pay interest on it. This means you're losing money on both sides just so you can go and show off something on social media that's not even worth that much in the future. So if you're going to take anything from this, prioritize long-term gain over short-term pleasure. Because if you don't, you risk staying in a cycle of poverty that can affect your entire future. Number 9, taking money advice from poor people. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is taking financial advice from people who are broke. And you probably heard this growing up, right? The only way to become successful is to go to school, graduate school, get a high-paying job. But let me tell you this, right? This is not the 1980s. That does not work anymore. In fact, all you're doing is setting yourself up for student loan with no guaranteed success. And in reality, you will never become rich by working for somebody else. So the thing is, avoid taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be, and only take advice from successful people you inspire to be like. Because you have to understand, right? You're the average of the 5 people around you. So if everyone around you is broke, right, you're more likely to turn out to be in the same position. So it's crucial to take responsibilities for your financial situation, even when it feels like the system is against you, because complaining and blaming others will not change the situation. So the real way to get out of the poverty cycle is by gaining skills that add real economic value. Because if your skills are limited to basic tasks, guess what? Your earning potentials will be too. So there you have it, guys. 9 money habit that's keeping you broke. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to like, and if you gain any value from this, don't forget to push the notification bell and the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in our next video. Thank you.